Hello everyone. It's me. I'm feeling a little ill, but yeah, let's just get into this Avengers Endgame bingo. Um, so I've made this bingo card just for fun, just to see if I get any of this right. So first of all, I'm gonna go in a spiral. So first of all, Tony's death. Uh, my thought is that he would die while killing Thanos, but or Thanos, sorry. But yeah, I'm thinking like, you know, Tony's left arm has sustained a lot of damage, and the gauntlet is left-handed, so no, but he could also live. You know, I recommend watching Film Theory's video on it. Uh, Good old Matt Pat, because that's what made me unsure about Tony's death. Next, we've got the Eternals post-credit scene. Uh, we know that there's going to be the Eternals in Phase 4, so I'm thinking maybe as a post-credit scene, we'll see the Eternals. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to that. Next, we've got Professor Hulk. There may have been a few leaks in terms of like I don't know what kind of leaks, but I've just seen them. Uh, for all we know, Professor Hulk is a thing, but for all we know, he may not be. I'm just gonna say that it's a possibility, and that's why Professor Hulk is on this bingo card. Now, next, the image just says barf times 4, but it's not meant to say the times 4. Basically, it's Stark's technology from the beginning of Civil War that allowed him to speak to his parents the day they died. Um, Perhaps that's something they'll use because Tony is the key to all of this. That's all. Um, and plus, it could explain why we've been seeing shots of them in New York. But there's another theory that I will get to that will not be in the same line as this. It's not directly contradictory. So next we got Steve dying. Uh, yeah, I don't see how Steve Rogers is going to survive this film, except maybe be like transported back in time to have a life with Peggy. But I just don't see him surviving. Uh, Next we've got Phase 4 Mega Villain tease. So basically, what I mean by that is that at the end of the original Avengers, we had a post-credit scene of Thanos, and I'm thinking maybe the next big Thanos size in terms of scale villain will be revealed in a post-credit scene. Now, next one, Black Panther lives. Pretty safe bet, as his film is coming soon. Now, I've got another character who's sort of like that, but that character is more so that character could find a way back into like I don't know, but Black Panther's probably the biggest character I can think of who could come back to life. Um, Spidey's not on this board, by the way. I guess I just needed filler. Next is Thanos. Yeah, I can't get everything right. Yeah, I'm moving on. Time travel. Now, if time travel's in the film, I don't think Barf will be in the film. but they're not mutually exclusive. I just think it's only likely that one of them will happen if either of them happen. So yeah, perhaps we'll see time travel. And plus, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was explained, oh, time vortexes are a thing. So that's how they could time travel without the aid of the Time Stone. Now, this next one could be contradicted by another one on this that I haven't said yet, but Falcon dons the shield. Basically, Captain America could continue being a character in these films, but I do not think it will be Steve Rogers. So Sam Wilson could be the next Captain America, and this is him over Bucky. That's my opinion. I think he's more qualified, and plus I want Captain Falcon on the big screen. However, I feel like this will probably not happen in Endgame, but more in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show that Disney Plus have announced. A stone gets destroyed is the next thing. Um, yeah, like they could destroy a stone. I don't, I don't think this in itself is likely. Um, I think it's going to be an all or nothing situation. But if at least one stone gets destroyed, I'm going to pop that there. Grey Vision. So when we saw Vision die in Infinity War, uh, he very much looked like what he looked like in the comics, from what I can see, where he was basically him, but not an emotional being. He was Vision, but just pure robot. So this has been called Grey Vision, and there you go. Next up, Snap victims all come back to life. Yeah, this one's probably gonna happen. I don't think I can explain much more with that. Hawkeye's family die. I think that in the trailers, if what we've been seeing in the trailers actually does happen in the film, if some of the stuff in the trailers are actually real, then I believe that Hawkeye, playing with his daughter, like shooting arrows, that's happening, and then his family's gonna get dusted, and then he's gonna go all rogue and get a mohawk. Next, we've got quantum realm stuff. I'm not going to bundle this with time travel necessarily. I'm not sure if I'll bundle it with time travel if time travel is being used with time vortexes, but if the and I'm not gonna tick this off simply because Scott Lang is stuck in the quantum realm as of the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just what I mean is if they use the quantum realm in any sort of way to try and defeat Thanos. Next, we've got Nebula killing Thanos. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could work. If there's a few people that could kill Thanos, and I think if it's not going to be Tony, and if it's not going to be Steve, and if it's not going to be Thor, I think it's going to be Nebula. Next is all the stones getting destroyed. As I said, all or nothing. So, yeah, this could happen. Maybe if everyone's brought back to life, then theoretically we could see that Wanda could destroy the Mind Stone, and I think using that logic, uh, Carol Danvers could destroy the Space Stone as well. Simply because, yeah, if you see, spoiler alert for Captain Marvel, that's basically where she draws her power from. She drew her power from the Tesseract. Um, Yeah, or they could just use the Infinity Stones and basically use that power to destroy them, so no one else will be able to do what Thanos did. Next, we've got Thor dying. I do not think this is as likely as Tony or Steve. I think Thor has a character arc that he needs to finish. I also think there may be a Ragnarok sequel coming. I also hope there's a Ragnarok sequel coming. I say Ragnarok sequel as if it was like, oh, Thor Ragnarok was the first one. No. I know it's good. It's going to be titled like, it's going to be speculated as Thor, but screw it, it's a Ragnarok sequel. Waititi is going to be the director. Let's face it. But I'm saying Thor might die because the big three all had spots in a certain trailer where we saw stuff from their first film where everything was black and white except stuff with the color red in that shot. And red is the color of blood, so they might be dead. So we saw it with Tony, and we saw it with Steve. We saw shots from their original films and then Infinity War. We had it with Tony, we had it with Steve, and we also had it with Thor. So, as Tony and Steve are my two top contenders for death at the moment, I think Thor would have to be bundled with them simply because of that. Although it could just be because they're the big three. That's why they're not in the same line. That's why Thor is not in the same line as Tony or Steve, because that is just not, no. And if you're wondering which trailer I'm meaning the trailer where they also used shots from Infinity War where everyone was dying, which also had the same sort of filter applied to those, so that's also another connection to death. So next, told you I'm sick. Next up, we've got Howard the Duck. This is ticked off if Howard the Duck appears in the film in any form, even as a cameo. Because, Howard the Duck was the first proper motion picture film that was live action with a Marvel property. And Howard the Duck is in the MCU, so if Howard the Duck appears, then I'm gonna tick that off. Next is the line, "No shit, Sherlock." I really want it to be in the film. It's probably not gonna happen, but the best chance for it to happen was in Infinity War, where Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, they were both in the same room together for most of it, and both Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. have both played Sherlock Holmes at some point. The opportunity is just, I would say the best opportunities they had were having Star-Lord say it to them, or them saying it to each other. Next up, Rhodey's retirement. You thought it was going to be Rhodey's death. No, I don't think Rhodey's going to die. I have a gut feeling that he won't die, but he will retire. Because we already had that fake out death in Civil War's trailer, let alone the film itself. So I feel like he's going to survive, but he's not going to be War Machine for much longer. Next, we've got Doctor Strange Lives. Again, he's got a sequel coming up. But this time he might actually be able to escape death. Because Soul Stone could be a different dimension, he could be interdimensional travel, yada yada yada. Next, another snap. Now, in a clip released by Marvel, it's been confirmed that Thanos has used the Infinity Gauntlet again, but we don't know if it's another snap. I doubt it's another snap, otherwise we may have seen someone die in that shot. I think that Thanos could have another snap. I'm implying with this that it could be another, like, half the universe, but it could just be killing off people in that fashion using the gauntlet. The penultimate square is Bucky donning the shield. Now, that's basically just the same thing as Falcon, but instead of Falcon, it's Bucky. And the final one is a pretty safe bet. Thanos dies. He's probably going to die. He might not, but he's probably going to die simply to get rid of him as a threat. Um, yeah, I don't see Thanos surviving this film. I don't know how he's going to survive, but he's going to probably die. This is basically like the free space, or just this is everything's going to center around this. Um, I think I'll confirm on Twitter if what I got right, what I got wrong, uh, and then I'll post that tweet in either the description of this video if this comes out after I see Endgame, or in a comment in this video. But yeah, thank you for listening to an ill person ramble on about a Marvel movie for like 15 minutes, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.